I'm Laurie Blake, this is the WrestleTalk News, and on Fridays, we wear pink. Our top story is admittedly not the cheeriest of topics for a day that is usually the most exciting of the week, because you know, the weekend. Thank God it's Friday and all that. But it feels like Black Friday because there is news of some major WWE roster and staff cuts coming very soon. Yes, with WWE's purchase by the Endeavor overlords and the merger with UFC now complete, it had been feared that layoffs could also be on the cards. Now, we already saw that within the WWE boardroom just a day following the launch of TKO as WWE's chief financial officer, Frank Riddick, departed the company on Wednesday. While it was not known whether this was a mutual parting of ways, it did potentially signify that there was some cause for some fear over job security. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that more layoffs were coming and WWE staff were very scared, noting that WWE was set to cut back on employees and on certain expenses. And yet, it turns out that this is in fact what is happening, as in an internal WWE email reported by PW Insider, WWE CEO Nick Khan informed employees yesterday that workforce reductions would be taking place today, September 15th. And no, it's not a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of moment. Khan noted that those let go would be informed of the news by WWE's Human Resources team, where severance packages would be discussed. Khan also asked all employees to work remotely today in order to ensure all conversations with those affected are handled privately and respectfully. And while this absolutely sucks, obviously, reports of layoffs following the WWE-UFC merger had been circulating for a while now. What was less certain, though, was how TKO would affect existing WWE talent. Could be set for our first lot of talent releases in quite some time. Well, unfortunately, that also seems quite likely. When inquiring about the cuts to WWE's workforce, House of Wrestling asked a WWE source whether these cuts would be felt in the locker room as well, to which they were told that major cuts would be coming to the WWE and NXT rosters. While it was not confirmed that these would also be coming today, the source did say that they had been planned for quite some time. So brace yourselves, I guess. While not confirmed, one source also told House of Wrestling that WWE could space out the staff and talent cuts for optics reasons to avoid the overwhelming negative press of doing it all at once. However, that is speculation. It could still happen altogether. They might not mind, I guess. So the winds of change are blowing in WWE, but could these changes factor into a brand new feel for WWE's product under the TKO umbrella? Well, according to BWE on Twitter, WWE may be set to revamp many aspects of the current roster, particularly in regards to new title schemes, which entails new names, weight classes, and a trios division. While weight classes would potentially be the most striking change, unless we're forgetting about 205 Live, we've all forgotten about 205 Live, and one that would bring WWE closer to that of their new sibling UFC. The addition of a trios division and title belts has been one that fans have called on WWE adding for some time. Of course. I mean, it remains to be seen if all of this will happen. There's always rumors about new titles and new divisions, but if believed, we could be seeing a much different WWE product under Endeavor than we had initially been expecting. Now, despite the news suggesting that talent cuts are coming in the near future, as of right now, there are only two stars set to officially depart from WWE, that being NXT stars the Dyad, Jagger Reed, and Rip Fowler of the Schism faction. Yeah, if you've been keeping up with the news, this is going to come as no massive shock, as it's been publicly stated by both men that they would not be renewing their deals once they expired in October, and there was rumours that they had asked for their WWE release as well. Now, the former grizzled young veterans had both yeah, there we go, we're saying it now. In fact, I'm saying it right now. The former grizzled young veterans had been requesting their release back in April. However, they were both turned down, leading to the pair continuing to wrestle on NXT throughout the year as generic British baddies. However, despite us not being in October quite yet, the pair do seem to have been written off TV courtesy of a vignette involving Schism's Ava and Joe Gacy on NXT. This little rubber stamp on Fowler and Reed's time in WWE was then confirmed by Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, who said Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed are gone. Their contract is up. I thought there was going to be some angle or something, but they're just gone. Good for them. Back to grizzled young veterans. Probably more grey hairs than they went into WWE with. Moving away from WWE departures now and on to what could be the company's biggest arrival of 2023, that being the former AEW TBS champion, Jade Cargill. Now, the news of Cargill's impending departure from Tony Khan's company was shocking on a few levels. First of all, she had only just returned to TV after a 3-month hiatus on last week's Collision, and secondly, a week prior to that, she had said the following when discussing Tony Khan and AEW on the Women's Wrestling Talk podcast. "There's no other place I would want to be. He doesn't look at me as a number, he looks at me like a human being, and he knows my journey, and he understands my purpose in the wrestling community and what I want to achieve, and I don't think you can beat that." I mean, does any of that suggest the move to WWE just weeks later? Because I don't think it does. And in the latest update, it has been revealed that Cargill to WWE could be happening in the next few weeks. PW Insider have revealed that Cargill's AEW deal is up as soon as next week, with Fightful Select noting that sources within WWE believe that Cargill's contract could be structured in a way that she could sign with WWE imminently. Interestingly, according to Fightful, some top stars in WWE had heard that Cargill could be hopping the fence backstage at this week's Raw before any news on this situation actually broke. But why, oh why, is Cargill doing this, I hear you ask? Pete, ask it.
What?
Pete, ask why, oh why Cargill's doing this.
Why, oh why is Cargill doing this?
Good you asked. I've got the answer. It's just up here. Especially when you read the above comments. I don't know, I'm doing a bit and it didn't work. Is it about the money? The paper? The moolah? Well, apparently not, as a source told Fightful that Cargill's decision is not financially motivated. Yet nobody has heard from Jade firsthand. In fact, after her final AEW match with Chris Statlander on Wednesday's Rampage taping, a reportedly teary-eyed Cargill had perhaps suggested that a WWE move may not be a sure thing. Because yes, Jade had reportedly instead told people that she may just be taking some time to focus on her family and or the Texas Smoke, the softball team that she and husband MLB player Brandon Phillips own. Interestingly, Wrestling Inc.'s Raj Giri has stated on Twitter that contrary to reports, he had heard Cargill had re-signed with AEW. While Fightful Select noted that an option to extend Cargill's AEW deal was potentially on the table, however, this hasn't been confirmed and it's unclear on what side this option lay or now lied or laid. Now, as for WWE's plans for Cargill, she did in fact join, and perhaps surprisingly, they may not involve a massive splash on the main roster right away. As according to PW Insider, some within AEW believe that Jade would be heading to NXT upon signing with WWE instead. A damning indictment of her skills. But how would you fantasy book the WWE debut of Jade Cargill? Let us know in the comments down below. So, with all the talk of WWE departures and arrivals today, what of a man that kind of falls somewhere in the middle of employed and not employed? Yes, for the first time in literally forever, we've got an update on the Drifter, the Zeke Freak. Ladies and gentlemen, it's... what's his name again? Elias. While many would be forgiven for forgetting about poor old Elias due to his lack of screen time in 2023, last appearing on the May 15th edition of Raw, he is still in WWE, so says the roster page. However, a new update has cast some doubt over his status, as BWE on Twitter has stated that the 35-year-old is currently working without a professional contract, but is in fact still in the company. Whatever that means. What does that mean? He's not working, is he? If he's not got no contract and he's not actually on the show, he's not working. That's not work. So there's been little news on the Elias front in quite some time, with no reason known as to why he's been off TV for so many months. However, he did reappear on Instagram recently to celebrate that he had been recently baptized in the River Jordan in Israel. So at least it seems like he's doing well in his time away from our screens. Now, while Elias's contract status is a big old question mark, one contract we do have more clarity on is that of the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. Clarity that is expiring soon. Real soon. Because reports have circulated all year that McIntyre and WWE were yet to agree to a new contract despite the former two-time WWE Champion's deal running out early next year, according to Dave Meltzer. Now, while Drew did recently say in an interview with the Hindustan Times that he doesn't plan on being anywhere else, that is pretty much what Cargill said about not leaving AEW for WWE. Don't feed me your lies, wrestlers! And feed me your lies, I can see right through them. But hey, maybe Drew wasn't lying, because according to BWE, McIntyre will soon be re-signing with WWE, at least that's their belief. Hopefully this impending new deal can coincide with a good old heel turn that seems to be on the horizon. Maybe, I mean, he's been a bit more edgy recently, isn't he? bit more edgy. Now, the heel turn does come for Drew. It would almost certainly come at the expense of his Glasbro, Matt Riddle. Although, of course, Riddle would need to be present on WWE TV for that to happen, something he was very much not this Monday on Raw. Now, the official line on Riddle's absence from Raw was that he was out with a medical issue, or at least that's what WWE told the roster, according to PW Insider. However, given that Riddle was also involved in an incident at JFK International Airport just a day prior in which he had alleged that he had been sexually assaulted by a police officer, the timing certainly raised some eyebrows. However, according to the Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer, Riddle was in fact suffering from a double ear infection and bronchitis, so maybe the timing might have just been unfortunate. Now, it seems that despite everything going on with the incident and Riddle's health, PW Insider is now reporting that he is expected back on WWE TV for the September 18th edition of Raw. Speaking of Riddle and McIntyre, they, like every other wrestler on the planet, were undoubtedly waiting with bated breath for this year's 2023 PWI 500 list that was released yesterday. Now, while many dispute the value of the list and likely don't care all that much, it does make for some interesting reading and sparks a fun little debate. Did I say fun debate? I meant accusations of criminal bias. Because yes, upon seeing the list, the sister of one Cody Rhodes was not best pleased with her brother's ranking of 10th. Teal tweeted, or X, what are we calling them now? Do you know what time their stand-up set starts? Because these jokes. She would then go a step further, claiming that PWI carries biases against the Rhodes family, saying, someone at PWI has a beef with someone in our family and it's really ugly on their end. So that's why I care. They are lucky certain people take the high road because it's cancelable. He was the 10th best wrestler in the world. I think that's fair. That's so fair. Cody placed behind the likes of Impact's Josh Alexander in 9th, AEW's Orange Cassidy in 8th, NJPW's Kazuchika Okada in 7th, and AAA's El Hijo del Vikingo in 6th. Following those names was AEW World Champion MJF in 5th, Intercontinental Champion from WWE Gunther in 4th, and an all-Shield affair at the top with Jon Moxley placed 3rd, Roman Reigns in 2nd, and Seth frickin' Rollins landing at numero uno. See, I can do Spanish. In celebration of the former Hounds of Justice taking top honors, the World Heavyweight Champion will post a picture to X of that classic Shield fist bump. How lovely. What a lovely way for the news to end for a change. Happy Friday. Cody Rhodes was robbed. He was robbed. What a dishonor to his family. 10th best wrestler in the world. 10th. Can you believe it? What an insult to his legacy! 10th!